As the child of immigrants who have worked very hard to give me the life that I have, I've been hesitant to talk about the immigration crisis on this platform because I don't want to come across as ungrateful or hypocritical or insensitive. And for the people who are listening who come from a family of immigrants, maybe you can relate because, as you know, the immigration issue is dividing us as a country. But I can't hold my tongue any longer because just this week, we had a record high of 12,600 migrants crossing the southern border in a single day, which really highlights the rising border problem. And we're seeing it hit even people like New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who at one point self-designated New York City as a sanctuary city. But when Texas Governor Greg Abbott took him up on that offer and sent busloads of illegal immigrants crossing the southern border to the Big Apple, he changed his tune.
Let me tell you something, New Yorkers.
The migrant crisis taking on a new tone.
Never in my life have I had a problem that I did not see an ending to. This issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City. Month after month, I stood up and I said, this is going to come to a neighborhood near you. Well, we're here. We're here.
He even went as far as to meet with the Biden administration, adding that it shouldn't fall on the backs of the cities and asking for federal aid. But in response, Joe Biden did nothing but put the responsibility back on New York City.
The New York mayor and governor have asked for increased federal support to handle migrants in the state. Business leaders, including Paramount Global, CBS's parent company, called on the administration to address what they described as a humanitarian crisis. Now, in the first response, administration officials are putting the responsibility back on the city and state.
That sounds like a nothing burger to me. And what's more, the Biden administration ended up gaslighting Eric Adams, saying that he's feeding into the right-wing ideologies, implying that Adams has joined a Republican fight rather than actually understanding what the real solutions are. I mean, what else do you expect from an administration that does that regularly? Because just this week, Abbott passed Bill SB 4, and that gives the state of Texas power to order illegal immigrants to return to their country. When asked about it, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre decided to deflect and just say that Abbott is a menace.
Immigration law in Texas. Does White House have any thoughts on that law? And there appears to be some litigation that's starting over the law as well.
Look, this is an extreme law that will not and does not make the communities in Texas safer. It just doesn't. And I think to add to that is that it is very much in line with what Republicans, many Republicans like to do or tend to do, which is demonize immigrants and also dehumanize immigrants. This is part of this. And so this is not who we are as a country. This is not who we should be as a country. Communities should not be individually targeted and put into harm's way. And this is what we're seeing. Again, this is something that Governor Abbott has done over and over again. There are plenty of examples that I've listed out from here before.
And it's not just her that's done this. It appears that the opponents of Abbott simply haven't read the bill. The Democratic representative from Texas, Joaquin Castro, dubbed it the Show Me Your Papers bill, calling it anti-immigrant and falsely proclaiming that it would place people who are authorized to live here legally at risk. When in reality, Abbott is doing more than a lot of other people to fix the issue. And in my opinion, this would prevent unnecessary deaths. One example that's notable is a 5-year-old boy who was loaded up on a bus and sent to Chicago, also a sanctuary city, died in a temporary shelter, which to me falls on Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, who decided to advertise Chicago as a safe haven for immigrants, while also not even allowing the constituents to decide on the fate of the city's sanctuary status.
So this is how it all went down. In a 31-16 vote, majority of city council opted not to allow voters to say yes or no on if Chicago should continue its designation as a sanctuary city. 2 more votes in favor were needed to suspend the rules and move forward to this question that was drafted. Should the city of Chicago limit its designation as a sanctuary city by placing spending limits on its public funding? The issue is now dead.
When Governor Abbott loaded up these buses and sent them to these sanctuary cities, he was able to expose these politicians as being virtue signaling, because when the immigrant problem became insurmountable for Chicago, Mayor Brandon Johnson decided to point the finger back at Abbott, saying he was destroying America.
They're showing up sick. Do you hear me? They're showing up sick. The issue is not just how we respond in the city of Chicago, it's the fact that we have a governor, an elected official in the state of Texas that is placing families on buses without shoes, cold, wet, tired, hungry, afraid, traumatized, and then they come to the city of Chicago where we have homelessness, we have mental health clinics that have been shut down and closed. You have people who are seeking employment. The governor of Texas needs to take a look in the mirror of the chaos that he is causing for this country.
Now, I find it hilarious that he would tell Abbott to look himself in the mirror, when the truth is he's been misleading everybody the whole time, because Chicago doesn't even have proper housing for these migrants. They have gone on to describe how dehumanized they feel living there, and saying there isn't proper heating, bathrooms, or even eating conditions where they have to eat spoiled food. And if you need any more proof of Johnson's hypocrisy, he has started impounding migrant buses that have been coming into Chicago, which tells me that he's just trying to project an image of being welcoming to immigrants, when in reality, he can't make good on those promises. Which goes to show that in the long term, sanctuary cities are not sustainable, and it will only backfire. Now, I am completely sympathetic to people who, for example, are escaping dangerous living conditions in their home country. At the same time, it speaks volumes when the lawmakers want to undermine basic rule of law. The fact that Abbott had to pass this in 2023, telling these states to do what the federal government should be doing, says a lot. And don't get me wrong, this was the right move and is a step in the right direction. But without a cohesive government to come together on issues like this, it will take a lot more than that to make a difference in the long term. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to this channel, hopefully I've earned a subscription. Please watch these other videos in the meantime. Until next time, peace out.